And I just wanted to reiterate our appreciation to all of you for your patience with us yesterday and for sharing this information factually and allowing us the opportunity to do so with our parents and guardians, as this was just such a tragic day for each and every one of them, including those who were impacted most closely, who sustained injuries, as well as each and every parent who worried about the whereabouts of their children yesterday. I'd like to introduce our superintendent, Dr. Sean Foster, and he will share some additional remarks about our school district, our response, and certainly about our collaboration with the Sheriff's Department and other law enforcement agencies who helped us prepare for a day like yesterday that we hoped would never come. Thank you all again.
Thank you, Chief Gibbs, Ms. Piccolino. Let me begin, first of all, by thanking law enforcement for their ongoing support throughout this investigation, as well as their partnership, as mentioned earlier, in helping prepare us for situations just as this. You know, some of the relevant trainings that our teachers, our administrators have received have included active shooter training, stop the bleed training, both which proved to be extremely effective in our response to the victims and preventing further student and staff from becoming victims themselves throughout this senseless act. The incident yesterday occurred at approximately 4 p.m. At that time, we had about 308 students and more than 100 teachers and staff that were on campus. But I'm happy to say that in approximately 4 hours, with the support of law enforcement, we were able to secure the students, staff safely inside of the building, respond to the victims, secure the campus, provide counseling services to the students that were there, and counseling service to families that needed them at the reunification site. We safely evacuated all of the occupants in the school, reunified students with their families, and we're also able to communicate to our school community 8 times, 8 updates. So we would hopefully have parents have a sense of calm and understanding as to what was going on with their child. And making sure we provided the pertinent information that was required and what we could release at that time. Any student or family with information related to this matter, I strongly urge you to contact the Sheriff's Office or contact your school administration or the school district office. Collectively, our teams are working around the clock. We're up bright and early this morning after a long night investigating this situation so that we can assist in holding anyone accountable that was directly or indirectly associated with this senseless act yesterday. We know that teachers can't teach and students can't learn when they're scared. Therefore, this type of activity will not be tolerated on any of our campuses here in Orangeburg. We understand that fear and trauma that may have been caused in our community and that they're experiencing right now, and we hope that our students and teachers and our families will seek comfort in each other, while also reaching out to the counseling services that we've made available to our students, to our faculty, our staff, and our district employees. While I couldn't be more impressed with the response of the Orangeburg-Wilkinson administration, the teachers, custodians, coaches, secretaries, the students, and our other staff, we are exploring with law enforcement other measures that can be implemented to create the safest possible teaching and learning environment that we can. We'll move forward together, ensuring that health and safety of our schools and a high-quality education to our community's children remains our top priority. So again, I want to thank Sheriff and the law enforcement divisions and all the other support law enforcement agencies that came to the rescue for our children. That's not anything that's new. We've had a partnership since I arrived here in Orangeburg a year ago. And we'll continue to have that partnership because we all share the same passion, and that is to ensure that our children and our families feel safe and receive the very best quality of life here in Orangeburg. Thank you.
Good afternoon. First of all, I want to clear up something that I think yesterday it was reported as a drive-by, and at first beginning of the incident, with the information that we had at hand, I think that's what it went out as a drive-by. But doing further investigation, it was not a drive-by. It was an isolated incident that happened on the back of the school campus, and being that this is an ongoing investigation, that's all I'll say about that particular part of it. But it was an isolated incident. Like Dr. Foster said, we, law enforcement, arrived within 10 minutes of the incident, which allowed us an opportunity to apprehend the suspect within school grounds. So we made an arrest yesterday of a juvenile that was transported to DJJ on last night. And I will tell you this, that I am in constant contact with the Solicitor Pasco, in reference to see if this juvenile will be waived up as an adult. As an adult with this charge of violent crime with the weapon, it's a maximum of 30 years. At this point, he's charged with 2 counts of assault and battery with intent. So we are in constant contact with the Solicitor's Office. What I do want to also do is to thank these other agencies that participated, that came out quickly and helped us in this event on yesterday, which was Public Safety, Highway Patrol, Dorchester County, DNR, State Transport, South Carolina Highway Patrol, EMS, and a few local agencies also responded. And this is a partnership that we have with the agencies around and for the quick response. And not only that, I would just say, again, like Dr. Foster said, because of the response and the knowledge of the staff yesterday at OW High School, Orangeburg Wilkinson High School, I believe wholeheartedly that it saved lives and cut down on the other people being injured. I think it could have been a real critical incident. Even one student being shot is critical, but it could have been worse. One thing that I said yesterday, and I want to make sure that everybody understands, and I understand that the parents were a little frustrated because of the time, which, you know, minutes seems like an hour when you're going through that situation. But I would say that it was 308 students in this school. Before we let anybody, took anybody out of that school, we documented names and contact information because we had to have an account for each student that was signed in that morning and the students that we let out that day. So that was the reason why. Also often you see across the country, and I just think I need to say this, also often you see across the country at school shootings and different things, you see students coming out and law enforcement, long guns, running students out across the football field or wherever. Yesterday, I think that in the situation that we had the situation under control at that time within the building. Everybody was secure in different areas. Law enforcement was stationed with each one of these with students throughout the building. So we had enough time to document and get every student over to their parents, and that's what we did. To give you a little bit about, and I know I'm going way off script now because what's on this paper, but I want to tell you a little bit about yesterday and my day yesterday, what I started off doing. And this is what upsets me so much. I started off yesterday, we was at another school here in Orangeburg County, and we had a program that we started with the Save a Child. And we partnership with Save a Child with Sonia Gass and her group yesterday. And this is a program that hopefully in years to come that's going to save lives and prevent things like this happening in a school. After leaving there, I rode through 3 other schools, just rode through the parking lot. Orangeburg Wilkinson was one of those schools. 20 minutes later, after I got back in my office, is when the call came in. So there are things that are being done, there are things that are happening in our community with our partnership with the schools and different things. But, you know, every time something happens like this, everybody want to point the finger at Ravenel. This is a community problem. This is not Ravenel's problem. This is a community problem. And until we get that concept and really take into consideration that we need to do something before things happen and be blaming law enforcement or blaming school officials, we're going to continue to have these problems. So if I seem a little whatever, I am a little whatever. This is a problem that, you know, we have, and we have to do something about it more than just talk. I'm talking now not to media, I'm talking to y'all to help me get the word. I'm talking to the community. This is the word that we need to get out. I'll just ask you to continue to pray for the victims in this case, the 3 young men that were shot in this incident. Pray for them and their families. And we are continuously working with the school district. We met all this morning, late last night, and there's some, you know, a lot of work needs to be done, and we are going to do that work, but we're just asking the community that say they care about these kids, our kids. You know, people ask me all the time, Ravenel, why all this shooting, not only in Orangeburg County, all over the state? Why all this shooting? Well, because everybody have a gun. That's why. And we're passing laws that don't help this. So with that, I think we'll take some questions.
Yeah. Sheriff, you said this is not a drive-by, but that this juvenile, I guess, somehow made it onto the property. Was this juvenile a student, and did that student bring a gun, or how did that play out?
Well, I honestly can't get into specifics right now, but it was not a drive-by. It was an incident that happened in the back part of the parking lot at the school. And like I said, I think what happened was after the incident, with the quick response of what was going on inside with the staff and law enforcement arriving, this student couldn't get off campus, so he had to take shelter somewhere, and we located him there about a couple of hours later during this incident.
So it was in Orangeburg, but it's a student?
This individual was at the school when we located him.
Right, well, you said student, though, so what is it, a student or not a student?
Well, if I said student, you could print what you want, but I didn't mean to say student. It was a juvenile that was that we caught that had just committed this crime. So, and I'm not. And to be honest with you, may have said student, but I'm not sure if he was a student or not.
So do we know how this individual got on campus, then?
No, I don't.
I heard the age of the student is 14, is that correct?
Excuse me?
I heard the age of the suspected shooter is 14.
I believe so. I believe so.
We're hearing from parents that there is a warning sign of a shooting happening on campus. Is that true, and what are the steps to take to ensure the safety of the children?
Could you repeat that?
We're hearing from parents that there was a warning of the shooting happening on campus. Is that true? And what other steps were taken to ensure the safety of the children?
I don't know that to be true. The steps that we're taking now is that every preventionary measure that we could take, we're taking that from this point forward. We're looking back at what happened and what we're gathering in this investigation.
Was
Like I
that
said,
SRO on campus?
yes, sir. There was an SRO on campus during the time. Yes, sir.
Sheriff, you said 2 counts?
3 counts.
3 counts?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I misheard you. Go ahead.
But that's good. I'll give you one. You misheard me and I misheard you. Nah.
Can you reveal if any of the suspects, any of the victims are still hospitalized?
I'm not sure.
How
I'm
many
not sure.
shots were ultimately fired?
I'm not sure.
And you mentioned how long did it take to apprehend the suspect, and was he caught on campus, and kind of where was he in between the incident and you guys putting him on?
He was caught on school grounds. It was probably, I'm not sure the exact time, maybe hour, 30 minutes or hour or so. I'm not sure of that, but it was on school grounds.
I got questions for Dr. Foster. OW students, they're not going to be coming back until Monday, is that right?
That is correct.
What happens when they come back Monday? What's the school going to look like? What's security going to be in place?
Well, we've met all morning, Mrs. Zeski, and we've met with the administration. We've met with law enforcement. We will have enhanced security measures. We met with the faculty and staff as well, not only to applaud them for their quick efforts, but also to gain feedback on how we can continue to enhance things and learn from this situation. So there will be an increased police presence. There'll be additional security there that just won't be for a few days. Those security measures and some security staff will be there for the remainder of the entire school year to help with motion of moving students and things like that. We're also looking at some adjustments to how the school day function. So this was an opportunity for us to continue to gain feedback from our faculty and staff on how we can continue to do what we set out to do every day, and that's ensure a safe environment for all of our
Will this
students.
just be at OW, or it'll be district-wide, or?
Today, right now, we focused on OW. They're the ones who need our attention right now. So that's where we focused that effort. I was at OW today. Before I came here, I haven't gone to my office at all. My office at OW and my senior staff office, Gene, was at OW. We parked there today, along with our counselors, to be there to get feedback. You have to be in the space and work with the individuals that are going to be there to ensure these safety measures that will work. And I believe the faculty and staff, as they've already done, will continue to do an outstanding job.
Dr. Foster, you guys, on the Facebook page, y'all moved the football game tomorrow at May River High School. What was the decision behind that? Security reasons, or?
It was just for comfort. The thing about it is, whenever you want to get everything solid, it gives us time. But we want to ensure that we try to transition back into a normalcy for our students. That's important to those athletes to be able to go out and display their talents they've practiced. As we've done throughout this pandemic, everything, we've tried to transition things. This is just a transitional effort to bring back some sense of normalcy and give our kids an opportunity to be students. And May River was so grateful to say, yeah, we'll host it because we believe in having our students display their talents even during these challenging times. So that's why that decision was made.
Dr. Foster, the game plan is still to have them return on Monday. Nothing's changed on that front?
Right now, our game plan is to have students return safely on Monday.
Dr. Foster, can you talk a little bit about the counseling and kids just coming back to school and obviously probably a little shocked and traumatized? What is that counseling going to look like?
Well, we have two sets of counselors. That counseling has already started. You know, we don't wait till Monday to say wait to come tell us your problem. We had counselors on staff today for our teachers at Orangeburg Wilkinson High School. We also had a set of counselors at the Technology Center. We also had a virtual option that parents could call in if they wanted to see someone virtually, have their child speak to a counselor virtually. So that has already begun, and that will continue as long as we need or are needed there. But even once that amped up counseling services is gone, we still have our qualified school guidance counselors. And at the drop of a dime, we have our student support services that are ready to go in. We also had available literature in regards to school shootings that we had available to our faculty and staff to read up on how those things. We had an outstanding conversation where we allowed our faculty and staff at OW to just talk. Our principal had an opportunity to address them. I had an opportunity to just be in the space and let everyone know that what we did was outstanding for our children, but also that we're still a family, and although our children aren't there, they're part of our family, but right now we can focus on each other and be there for one another. So the counseling has already started, and it'll be there as long as it's needed.
With that discussion, could you give a feel of some of the reactions from the students? What are you saying when you guys are talking?
Reactions of the students? I hadn't had an opportunity to engage any students, so I can't speak on their behalf. There's only one student that I can speak on, and that's mine, because my child was there as she attends OW High School. And my child told me, Daddy, I felt safe. Everybody did what they were supposed to do. So I don't stand here just as a superintendent. I stand before you as a parent. And when Monday arrives, my child will be there because I feel confident that what that staff has done and what we have in place will work. It will continue to keep our students safe. So that's the only child that I can honestly say I've spoken to.
Sheriff, do we have any reason to believe there's any other suspects other than this one individual that's at DJJ now?
Well, we're still, like I mentioned earlier, we're still doing an investigation. I can tell you, I believe that there's going to be some other people charged in this incident, but the charges I can't tell you right now, because this, like I said, this is a fresh, ongoing investigation, and trust me, it's not that we're trying to withhold any information from you. or anything, but, this investigation, all investigations are sensitive, but this investigation is dealing with these juveniles. We have investigators out right now. Investigator was out all night last night, and going to probably be out all night tonight until we get some answers that we need. So there could be some other charges, and like I said, I'm constant contact with Solicitor Pasco and to see if we waive these charges as an adult. Because, violent gun with a violent crime, like I said, it carries up to 30 years, and this is, and on a school ground is nothing to play with.
Have y'all found the gun, and do y'all know who it belongs to?
Sir?
Have y'all found the gun, and do y'all know who it belongs to?
We have located a weapon. We're still in that stage of trying to identify.
You said this was
Well, thank
isolated.
you.
Is it your
Thank
sense that these were targeted individuals?
Excuse me?
You said this was an isolated incident, so
Right.
is it your sense that these 3 young people were targeted?
Well, it's just that fresh in the investigation. I really can't answer that, to be honest.
For people to
That's it.
report tips, call Crime Stoppers.
Call Crime Stoppers. On this incident, if you dial 911 or whatever you need to do, but we just need to get this information in so we can clear up some unanswered questions that we have, so we can get it to you.
Thank you so much.
Is Orangeburg County School District safe, and what would you tell parents that are concerned?
Could you repeat that, Mr.
I was just wondering, what would you tell parents that are concerned about the safety of Orangeburg County School District?
So I believe the original question, I just wanted you to repeat it, was, is Orangeburg County School District safe? I just wanted the public to hear that question again clearly. And that's a simple answer, yes.
Do parents have the option of having their kids go to virtual if they're afraid of your kids' safety in schools?
Right now, we have a virtual option, but as you are aware, that virtual option has since closed. The proviso, and then that's a whole other entity that limits the school's ability to have online students. So those individuals that have done that and applied, we are under a proviso in that regard in regards to virtual education. And that's not in Orangeburg, that's statewide.
Do we know yet if this is an incident that started on campus, or is this an off-campus issue?
There's an ongoing investigation, so I can't answer that, and that's not my sandbox. I lead the experts to that.
Dr. Foster, do you have metal detectors in your building, specifically the high school, for example?
We do have metal detectors that we use at athletic events. So if you've attended an athletic event in the past, you had to walk through a metal detector. Are those metal detectors used on a daily basis? No, they're not, but there are metal detectors present at not just Orangeburg Wilson, but a number of our schools for athletic events.
Thank you.
You got it.